2025 Stark Varg bike check. I thought it'd be interesting to kind of go over some of the fancy and factory parts that I have on this bike. This is the generation 2 of the very first Stark Varg. This is not the Varg 1.2. We'll start with the handlebars. I run the Pro Taper Fusions SX Race Bend. I run them unlocked because I like a little bit of flex. And no, I don't run the handlebar cover just because, why not? Got the Pro Taper SX Race Cut grips. I like the super soft grips because it helps with like harsh landings and stuff. Next, we have one of the most controversial things that I have on this bike, and it is my fake clutch. All it is a clutch perch and some bicycle inner tube kind of wrapped around this to give it a little bit of resistance. So it's basically just for muscle memory for when I go back and forth from this bike and I ride my 450, which is a combustion engine, kind of just to keep my form on point, keep my muscle memory going, because I don't run the handbrake. Also, if you guys have noticed, I don't have the phone to adjust any of the power modes. I have everything preset, and I keep the Bluetooth phone charger zip tied to the front of the triple clamps right here, just to kind of get the phone out of the way and run my own bar pad. Next, we'll go suspension. I have Kashima coated upper forks done by TCD and their KYB forks. I have DLC lower coatings. I have the KYB billet lugs. So I have Bridgestone tires on the front and the rear, and I have a P3 carbon skid plate on this thing. So as you guys have also noticed on this bike, I have a ton of grip tape. I've got grip tape on the frame right here. I've got it on this cover right here. I have it on my side panel, and I also run, which is very new to me, steg pegs. Now these help with keeping my feet and legs on the bike and connected to the bike as tight as possible, because this bike is so thin, and the fact that it doesn't have an exhaust right here, doesn't stick out, so there's not enough to kind of grab onto with my legs. So I decided to start running some steg pegs. Next, I have these factory tie foot pegs from the Stark factory themselves. I'm not exactly sure if they sell these yet or not, but I've had these on the bike for a while. Super nice. A little bit better than the stock. I get a little bit more grip. Next, I have my fake shifter right here. I use this a ton to hook my foot underneath here when I'm doing whips, or even on the track in some corners I'll hook it in just to kind of keep my knees tight to the bike, and it helps control the bike a lot more, because obviously with electric there is no transmission, so you don't have a shifter. And last but not least, I have extremely stiff suspension, which helps me handle, you know, the super steep ramps and the hard landings and the big jumps. Basically a necessity for what I do. Now this suspension is set up extremely stiff, probably stiffer than most professional supercross rider suspension, because it doesn't need to handle any bumps or anything. So it's extremely stiff, and the rebound is extremely slow. Basically all it needs to do